rwandamd.gov, or also visit. For public comments, you can email during the meeting at info@brentwoodmd.gov. With that, I will have our town clerk, Mr. Moran, to call the roll.
Councilmember Jerry Burgess.
Present.
Councilmember Marcus Monroe.
Present.
Councilmember Lauren Rowe.
Present.
Vice Mayor Kiana Taylor.
Present.
Mayor Jose Domingo Lopez.
Present.
Town Administrator Shelley Dorsey.
Present. Sorry.
Police Chief Marcus Jones.
Present.
Town Treasurer Shelley Dorsey.
Present.
Town Clerk Larry Moran, present. And lastly, Town Attorney Jason Deloach.
He probably is gonna join in if it's not here yet.
He's traveling, Shelley said earlier, so he may not be on the call.
And okay.
Yeah, he won't be on the call.
Yeah, before I continue, I know we skipped something. This is the regular meeting of Mayor and Council. So I'm going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Liberty.
indivisible,
Justice for all.
Thank you for that. I just going to move to the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda. If there's any changes.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda of the regular meeting, Mayor and Council, dated February 19,
18?
2025.
Thank you, Councilman Burgess. The only thing that I would like to include, well, I know you sent something about the table for the next work session, and I see also the town hall solar panels has been tabled as well, and I don't see any other changes or additions. Anyone else in the council? Right, if all in favor to the agenda, please say aye.
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 I'm sorry, Mayor. I don't see where it was added, but never mind. I see it on there. Never mind.
Yeah, it is there.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Thank you. I'm going to start with the upcoming events. We had the Mayor and Town Council meeting on course today. We also have the Black History Month celebration this coming Saturday, February 22nd at 1 p.m. And also we have the Citizen Advisory Committee starting on Saturday, April 5th, just putting unlocking a day, 2025 at 9 a.m. And I assume those are going to be on our current town hall, not in the new. It's going to be in this community center, correct?
That would be my preference, Mayor.
Okay, perfect. Vice Mayor Taylor, the Black History Month celebration is scheduled for Saturday, and it's gonna be at town hall.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to move to public comments. I see residents in the line. Please don't forget, we are limited to 2 minutes, but you're welcome to speak at this time.
Hello, good evening. I'd like to speak. My name is Jacqueline Arundel. I live at 3807 Rhode Island Avenue. I'm here to make comments on rent increases For the record, I understand that people go into business to make a profit, including landlords, but the question is at whose expense? There are 3 points I'd like to emphasize regarding rent increases which I think the council and town can help with. One, need to ensure that renters are informed of their legal rights and current landlord-tenant laws, just like employers are required to make employees aware of labor laws. For example, landlords are required to provide tenants with a 90-day notice of rent increases for leases 12 months or longer. And it would be great if the county, the county's new rent stabilization law, that renters and people in the public were made aware of that as well, and whether or not their building is covered, exempt or not exempt or covered by that new law. The other thing, educating renters on what constitutes affordable housing. If you're spending more than 25 to 30% of your income on housing, then that is not affordable housing. Bernie Sanders spoke about this in a recent interview, and this is an important, thing that people need to be aware of. Anyway, so that when we're saying we're building affordable housing, that's what we are actually getting. The last point is fees versus rent. Many buildings are now charging for parking and other necessities, so that I assume they can increase the base rent and fees separately without appearing to exceed limits, like, for example, the limits of the new county's rent stabilization laws. The base rent for my unit was increased by 4.5%, but they added a new $60 monthly parking fee. So they introduced a new, so they separated out the parking. It was included previously. Now it's a separate fee, $60 a month. Together, my base unit rent plus the parking fee now exceeds the total increase is 7.6%. That is more than people generally get. Well, forget it, not even generally. Generally, people get salary increases of no more than 3% a year. So, if you're lucky to get an increase at all. So so when we look at affordable, or housing just in general, and what people can afford, we need to take all this in consideration, and just making renters and the public and prospective renters aware of what their rights are and what their the laws are. So that's my comment, and I hope that the county would do a lot more to, like I said, educate renters and the public. So thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for those comments, and we might bring this topic in future conversations or work sessions of the mayor and council.
Thank you.
Thanks. Any other member of the community that would like to take the moment to speak?
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name's Rita. I just moved to Brentwood about 6 months ago, and I was just joining this meeting to learn more. And yeah, thanks for having me tonight. I also second very heavily what Jacqueline shared.
Thank you for that, Rita. And welcome to you both for participating in our meetings. All right, Mr. Moran, do we have any other comments that you might have received?
No email comments.
Okay, thank you. All right, I need approval of the minutes. Do you have list of minutes, Mr. Moran?
So the minutes for approval are July 9th, 2024. Public hearing minutes for October 15th, 2024. And the regular meeting, October 15th, 2024.
Those were previously tabled for review, correct?
Yes.
All right. Is everybody in agreement to move these minutes?
Mr. Moran, could you put the dates? I'm sorry, could you put them in the chat? I'd like to cite them in the motion to approve.
Yes, thank
Because
you.
I know I won't remember. Oh, thank you.
Vice Mayor,
Yes, sir.
And Mayor, can I just make a quick comment before you do that motion?
Yes, sir.
I'm taking this moment, since we have two new or at least two new voices on the council tonight from the residents. I'd like to invite them both to please consider coming to the Citizens Advisory Committee in April. We could really use your voices there. All right, now I'm done.
Yes. Thank you for that commercial, Councilman Burgess.
I move to approve meeting minutes for July 9, 2024, public hearing meeting minutes of October 15, 2024, and regular council meeting October 15, 2024.
Any questions?
Quick question, Mayor. These are the minutes that were provided to us, I think, 2 meetings ago, and then we had some edits and amendments, and now they're completed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, any other question before us to approve those minutes? All in favor to approve those minutes, say aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you, Larry, for adding those. Okay, we are going to move to the reports, starting with the police chief reports.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council residents. This is the Brentwood Police Department's January 2025 report. All right. As reported last month, we're starting to report on the Part 1 crime offenses, which are some of the most what we consider the heinous, violent, and property crimes. In 2025, for January, the only violent crime we had was an aggravated assault, which matches our statistics for 2024. So there was no change in violent crime for the month of January compared to 2024. Under property crime, we had 1 vehicle theft. And we actually see that trending upward. We're not in February statistics yet, but I've been tracking that for the last 2 weeks. February statistics will be high. For some reason, we're back to the Kia thefts in town. Another form of a theft, we have 1 packages and parcels, 1 and motor vehicle parts, which are things like catalytic converters. We have 1. So property crime went up by 2 calls for service, which equates to 66.66% in January compared to 2024. I just redropped in the January through December statistics for 2024 compared to 2023, so that folks could look at them one more time to see that overall crime was down in the town as of December. And it's still actually trending downward, even though property crime was slightly up in January. These are our calls for service, the normal document that you all are used to seeing every month. It just shows you the type of calls that are put into our computer-aided dispatch system and sent to the officers. You'll see the highest number being premise checks towards the bottom of the page there at 141. Those are officer-initiated calls for service. Premise checks are things like going to people's houses, checking them, checking on our senior residents and things like that. So those are self-initiated. We always want that to be the highest number out of our calls for service for the month. And total is 327. So this is our next page, Mr. Moran. This is our public notice that went out minus the picture in the Prince George's Post. Should have posted last week, and it'll post again next week. With regards to the stop sign monitoring systems, the town of Brentwood will be installing stop sign monitoring systems in accordance with 21-707.1 of the Maryland Transportation Article and Town Ordinance 2024-3. Tentatively, at this moment, these monitors will be located at the following intersections: Allison at 37th, 38th at Volta, north and southbound, 34th at Wyndham Road, 34th Street at Webster Street, Volta Avenue at Webster Street, Utah Street at 37th Street, and Utah Street at Jackson Street. Ticketing for these violations will start on March 24th, 2025. And violations for stop sign infraction will be $40 as the same as speed camera violations. If anyone has any questions regarding this program, you can reach out to the Brentwood Police Department at our phone number. It's 301-864-1858 or by email at pdinfo@brentwoodmd.gov. And the bottom slide is just a graphic that's prepared by the vendor that goes out into the community. It's one of the postcards and social media posts. And social media posts started last week as well. Next page, Mr. Rand. These are, yes, I'm sorry. We call it a new approach to safer roads. Stop sign cameras aimed at helping to just deter unsafe driving. Again, these are the slides prepared by our vendor. And the campaign is Let's Drive Safer. It is to reduce the number of people violating stop signs, particularly around the elementary school. This is a significant problem here in Brentwood. So this is the English version of the social media posting and the ones that are going out to residents' mailing address. The next page, Mr. Moran. And that's just the Spanish version of the same thing. Next page, Mr. Moran. This is our code compliance unit section. Next page. Code compliance for January 2025 workload breakdown. They attended one event. They did 4 single-family rental inspections, 1 multifamily inspection, 1 business inspection, which actually is the Brentwood Market, the new owner. Violation notices issued are 8. Building permits issued 1. No dumpster permits. Pepco pole outage reports was 13. That actually came from me. I did those myself. The stop work orders 1. The parking tickets issued 9. Vehicle warnings issued 3, and no municipal citations were issued in January. Their January action items were, I tasked them to meet with 3 vendors in the month of January to demo code enforcement, permitting, licensing, and inspection software, as well as a parking enforcement automated software. They met with 2 of those companies. I see that conversation when I look back through meeting minutes and agendas has been going on for some time. And I am trying to get that wrapped up so that we can get a little bit more organized on the code enforcement side. So hopefully we will be presenting something to council in the March, no later than April meetings after I meet with the town administrator and the mayor. Next slide, Mr. Moran. Oh, that's it. Okay. And we just reemphasized our pillars for code compliance for 2025. That's first, engaging our residents, educating the residents, empowering them to do the correct thing with resources, and then enforcement action. And that is the end of my report.
Mayor,
Thank you, Chief. Yes, go ahead,
may I ask you a
Councilman.
question? Well, thank you so much. Chief, thank you very much for all that communication. Just a quick question. I wonder if the information is also going to be conveyed to residents via the town email list.
Is that for the stop sign camera information? I just wanted to be clear.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes, yes.
Yes, we started pushing it in social media. It got published in the Lamplighter for the edition that just went out. And yes, I will get with Mr. Moran on the graphics and make sure they get put in the next email blast a couple times before March 24th. Oh, also, what's a page that's missing out of there is a copy of the signage that'll be going up on those streets. It's similar to speed camera signage. It's just the picture of a stop sign with the camera in it that says photo enforce with the Spanish version underneath of that as well, so that people know they're coming. The vendors putting in, they're waiting for them to come in from whatever sign shop they use, and they'll be getting them up here shortly.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
No problem. And Vice Mayor Taylor, I see your comment as well. I will make sure we update that document.
Any other question to the chief?
Yes, if I may, Mayor.
Yes.
So wonderful report. Thank you so much. It's really helpful to see the metrics of what's going on in our town and where, we need to do more education or where you guys need to focus more energy. So really appreciate the report. Thank you. Did you say that some of those new speed camera flyers are going to be sent in the mail to residents?
Yes, we're going to do I don't want to quote the program wrong, but I think it's Mail Anywhere, Mail Door Anywhere program.
Okay.
We're going to circle Brentwood on the map in the Postal Services system and have them sent out. I think it's like Mail Anywhere, but we are going to send it out as well at the vendor's expense. I've put all that expense back on them and not the town. So
Thank you for sharing that. Would this be something you would want to send in your text alerts that the Brentwood Police Department also offers now?
yes, so it will be a condensed version, a smaller flyer. When we look at everybody that signed up, everybody doesn't have. There's a difference between SMS and MMS. So we have a mixture, and I can tell that's our senior and younger residents, iPhones and Androids and all of that. So it'll be a condensed version, basically to a link to go to the Let's Drive Safer website.
Great. Thank you so much for that update. Those are all the questions I had. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? See, no, I'm going to move to the treasurer's report.
All right, good evening. Treasurer's report as of the end of January 31st, 2025. Ending balance in the general fund is $1,207,581.18. Ending balance in ARPA is $57,605.54. The ending balance in the capital fund is $235,272.33. The ending balance in the PNC account is $335,932.82. Ending balance in the money market is $189,645.63. Ending balance in the merchant account is $148,314.70. And the ending balance in the BB&T checking is $239,902.33. Total cash on hand the end of January is $2,414,254.53. Revenue versus expense. Total income to date is $2,457,142.82. Total expenses is $2,201,407.32. Results in a surplus of $255,735.50. Bills presented for your review from January 16th through January 14th. Total is $146,156.26. That completes the reading of the financial reports for as of January 2025. No questions. I will keep going. The town administrator's report, and actually be pretty quick tonight. Just a couple of things. The trash contract, there was an email that went out for your review. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to take a look at that. Peak contract renewal, that's coming up early part of March, which is another thing we'll need to sit down and talk about some of those numbers. The 38th Street sidewalk, I did have a chance to speak with Jason earlier today, so he did touch base with their attorney. They were able to work out whatever the minor differences were that they had. And so we're actually good to go on that contract. However, I'm waiting for them to send over that final version. He said I should be expecting that, but I have not received it as of yet. Pepco reached out last week. I met with them, and they had a meeting with the State Highway Administration, and State Highway has taken a new position on streetlights. And their position is just because the light shines on their street doesn't mean they're responsible for it and that they're going to pay for it. So that being said, the impact of that, there's about 60 lights that are affected by this. That State Highway is saying they will no longer pay for these lights. And the cost is about $1,600 a month, an additional cost to the town to pick up these light fixtures. I was hoping that Pepco was going to attend tonight. They offered to attend this meeting to share some information, but I did, I think I sent an email out to you all, and if I didn't, I do apologize, just showing you just some of the data and so that you could see a list of all of those lights that were, that they're basically kicking back to us. And then also, I don't know if anyone was aware or is anyone aware, there was a dumpster on Penwood that was abandoned. It'd been there for some years, to my understanding. It belonged to Waste Management. However, no one in Waste Management wanted to claim it. However, working with code, we were finally able to get through to folks at Waste Management, have them come and pick that dumpster up and get that out or that section of the street cleared up. So just wanted to let you know that that was removed. On HR side, do have some candidates for the Public Works foreman position. And so I'm currently prepping, getting ready to do some interviews for that position. I did talk to University Park in regards to the collaboration on the treasurer position. So I'm excited about that. And I think it's a good opportunity for us to be able to work with them to fill this position. The town center master key system received the final plans on that. So they're actually wrapping that up. And hopefully we'll have some master keys to the new building here soon, along with, like I said, it'll be a lockbox keying system to keep us organized. And the internet, phones, and AV, I'm going to kind of wrap all three of those up together because it's a nightmare, but we're working our way through it. I don't even know how else to describe it other than it's been a nightmare. That is currently the holdup in terms of us being able to actually transition to the new building. But I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'll know for sure tomorrow. But it's been a little frustrating, not just for me, for Matt as well. Matt's been going through this process with me. The community center, I don't know if anyone's been through lately, but the 30,000 in renovations that we did is complete. I like to think that with the little money that we were working with, I think we did a fabulous bang up job. The Public Works did a fabulous job. I cannot take any other credit, but we did complete that. I do have on the agenda, but I'll mention it now. It's a estimate from Jiffy Plumbing for $1,450. In the ladies' room, one of the stalls has not worked for quite some time. Apparently, there's a clog in the line, and when we release the clog on the woman's side, it basically pushes it over to the men's side. And when we release it on that side, it just pushes it back to the woman's side. I think the pipe installation is a little quirky there. However, Jiffy thinks we may have a fix, and it's just some ongoing maintenance, and that is to blow the line out. The estimate for the $1,450 would be to blow out that line, and the recommendation is that we do that at least quarterly, so that we can have full functionality of those restrooms. And Public Works, I'm hoping next week we're going to start taking a look at some of our sidewalks around the town. I was able to go back and find some information from my predecessors and some of the work that they've done and information that they gathered. And so we don't have to actually start from scratch. However, The plan is to at least assess, which ones are in, worse repair and start there. And start making our way through filling some of the cracks and some of the other issues that we're having with our sidewalks. So that we can ensure that they're safe for our kitties and our residents to walk on and not cause trip hazards. And I think that is all I have for tonight. That was enough.
Thank you, Shelley. Any questions for our town administrator?
Yes, if I may.
I think Councilmember Roque has a question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better, Ms. Dorsey Washington. I'm sorry. It sounds like your voice is probably going to be gone by the end of the meeting, but thank you for the really detailed report. Really appreciate it. And I had a couple of questions about it. Let's see. So do you have, it sounds like there's a lot of issues going on with the new town center regarding the cable and internet and phone connections. Do you guys have a time frame of when that might be set up? Just for like small conference meeting in that building would be appreciated.
So what I can tell you is, and it appeared to be to everyone's surprise today, and that is that we do have some Wi-Fi in the building. I was actually able to connect my phone to it, and the 2 laptops for the AV, I was able to connect to it. What I don't know is what I connected to, was it for the AV side, or if it was actually for the building side, which is what the staff would utilize once we relocate to that building. I think it was the staff side. But that's kind of where we are right now. That being said, he shared earlier or this morning on a phone call with them that we probably would not have the phone service or the internet service until like late March. However, I had a conversation with Comcast, and I think that date is going to get moved up, but I won't be able to get confirmation on that until tomorrow. I am really pushing to get us to a point where we can actually utilize that building. We can move into that building. We're pushing.
So maybe summer?
So
or you're not ready yet. You're not ready
hopefully
yet
in the next 30 days.
Okay.
And I can't stress to them enough that at this point, this is urgent.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like it should be taking this long to get these pieces done. However, Verizon has still been very quiet, and they've been a challenge in terms of just being able to reach out and connect with them. However, Comcast has been, a little more available, and we're able to get some things done through them. It's just, ideally we want Verizon and Comcast in that building. We need a backup system. Not to mention we have 2 cable channels. And so we're just working really hard, just trying to get all these pieces together. I don't think it should be as challenging as it is. But unfortunately, this is kind of where we are, and we're working our way through it.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Quick mention, just because I know you've been out, and so I just wanted to quickly draw your attention to the offer for Public Works Department training for free at Joe's Movement Emporium.
Mm-hmm.
They're offering for a March training in the morning of, I don't have the date in front of me, but just want to pull your attention to that email, and I'm happy to resend it. But we want to just, make sure that you are checking with them and see if that's available, and if you're interested in doing that, so we can get back to them and tell them if we're attending it or not.
Okay, I will send an email tomorrow.
Okay.
In regards to it.
Yeah, I know you've been out, so it's not, just wanted to use this time to call your attention to it.
Okay.
For the Pepco lights, it sounds like that's a bummer, but but do you have a recommendation, or, you know, are you gonna talk more with Pepco and get kind of, hey, this is what we're gonna do for our next steps, since this is happening?
So
Or are you
here's
just thinking, oh, that's $600 a month is easy for us to cover, so no big deal, we'll just do it?
Well, it helps that they did the survey last year and they realized that they were billing us incorrectly and they made those adjustments. And so we've seen significant savings. So having to take on these additional lights basically just eats into that savings. And I still think overall there's still some savings. However, you know, we have two options. One, we assume all of these lights and we pick up all the costs, or we go through this list of lights and we say, okay, well, we don't want this light, we don't want that light. And I don't know that we're in a position to where we want to get rid of any street lighting. And so for me, the assumption is that we're going to incur the costs, and the treasurer needs to make sure we can pay for it. I don't know if
Understood.
she's on this call, but I can reach out to her.
Get that woman on the line. I'm sorry, I've got just two more questions. The Public
Oh,
Works
it's fine.
foreman position, are you able to share that? Maybe I missed it. I probably did, the job posting. I'm just curious if council can see the job description for the foreman position.
I could send it out. It was posted on MML and Indeed.
If you could send it out, that would be appreciated.
Sure thing.
And then my last comment, question kind of thing is, do we need to keep naming that, let's see, the budget versus actuals? Nope, that's not the one. Not the sum, is it the summary? No, the treasurer's cash report. Yes, the treasurer's cash report. Do we need to keep naming the second column for Truist the subname? I feel like that could be changed at this point in time, to just call it art or something. I think that would be advisable, and you don't need to comment on that at this point, but I think it would be advisable to change that Truist column.
So which columns are you referring to?
The second column on the treasurer's cash report for the Truist account, I would suggest that you rename that art. Yeah.
Art?
Yep, because that's what that money is for now, or whatever, you know. Yeah, and I'll follow up with you offline.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
In order to change the name, don't we all have to agree to change that?
Yes, that account was established by way of resolution. It's still ARPA funds. But I understand why she's making, you know, that recommendation, because pretty much that's the only money that's in there is for art.
Right, and that we've closed out the ARPA, so it would be beneficial to the town that we introduce another resolution, I think.
Yeah, that's the only way we're gonna be able to change it. Thank you for that. All right, anyone else?
ARPA isn't, just so we're clear, ARPA isn't completely closed out. We had a requirement to.
And we met the requirement.
Yes, so we had to expend monies by December 31st, or we had to obligate it. And so what we didn't spend is obligated. So it's still ARPA monies, and those obligated funds, we have until the end of December this year, 2025, to expend those obligated funds.
Yep. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other question before we move to the next? Nope. All right. Guess we'll move to the council reports. Can I start with Councilmember Monroe?
Yes, you can. Thank you, Mayor. So just again, thank you to everyone that had a part in the grand opening for our town center. All the time the staff put into this, it was just a great event. And that was a great moment for our town to sort of, hit a big milestone with that. So I just want to say applaud everyone that helped with that. And then also kudos to Sim Rauch. I attended the UMD climate change workshop / training as well a couple weeks back, and I thought that was a really successful engagement. So I just want to hats off to her on that. So as far as reports go, mine's pretty quick because you got most of the update through the cable authority. Essentially, the last step now is just the AV portion of the building, which, as you heard, is a little tricky and tough. All of the whatever verbs you want to add to it. But thank you to Shelley and Matt, on my town administrator, and Matt, our AV specialist here, that they're working at it. So I did plan on trying to sit in tomorrow, doing the training if I can. I just got to check my schedule. But just trying to monitor it and just keep an eye on what's going on. So anything I can do to reach out to our partners, whether it be Verizon, et cetera, just let me know, and I can try to put some pressure from my side as well. But that completes my report, and I thank you for the time.
Thank you, Councilmember Monroe. I will move to Councilmember Burgess.
Mayor, it looks like he may have dropped off the call. I know he was
Driving. Yes.
So he just may be out of range.
Okay, so that's good. Councilmember Rauch.
Yes, I submitted my committee report, and I'm not going to run through it since I've submitted it and you all had a chance to look at it. If you have questions, please let me know. I would like to engage the council and town staff on discussion of when to have the Bartlett Park redesign charrette. Right now, we are still moving forward on all of the grants. And so they are looking at early April, and I know, unfortunately, Councilmember Burgess had to drop, it looks like, but they're looking at April 5th or April 12th. Wondering if anybody has any conflicts. This would, again, be the large charrette where we would want you all to participate in what you think would need to be, beneficial for the park moving forward, for Bartlett Park, to address stormwater and flooding, but also to ensure equity and inclusion and making sure that everybody has access to the park and that it's safe. So anybody have a preference for date? April 5th or 12th? I know.
Is that going to be in person?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
meeting in the evening. What time do you think is?
It'll most likely be it'll be either 3/4 or a full day on the weekend. So the charrette is a planning session, and it'll be an open meeting. And other residents and representatives of businesses, et cetera, will be invited. So
The 12th, I'm available, but not the let's see.
Yeah, either one works for me, so I'll defer to the majority.
okay, thank you. Vice Mayor, do you have a availability in April for the 12th for the Bartlett Park redesigned charrette?
12.
I don't know if Vice Mayor Taylor's still on.
I'm here.
Do you have availability for April 12th for the Bartlett Park redesigned charrette?
I believe so.
I think the 12 will work.
Okay. So, town administrator and police chief as well, April 12th. Thumbs up, great. And I know y'all could win the lottery in between now and then. Thank you, thumbs up, but we'll at least get this on the calendar. MNCPPC, who's working with us and contractors to provide the flooding and stormwater risk mitigation analysis and strategies. They are interested in, they've done the contractor CPJ, Charles P. Johnson Inc. has done some modeling to understand where there's been flooding and where there could be flooding in the future. And they're wondering if they can speak with whoever has the history of experiencing floods in Brentwood. And I'm not sure who, and they'd like to speak with council and leadership, town leadership. And I'm not sure who that would be necessarily. I thought to invite them to a council meeting, but they're trying to wrap up their analysis by the end of this month, and we're not able to attend tonight. Is there anybody I could volunteer to put them in touch with for a phone call or a discussion or virtual or in person, so they can show you kind of what their analysis has been and they want to test it against real experience?
Mayor, can I ask a question, clarifying question on that?
Go ahead, please.
So is it the whole, make sure I understand, the whole town, or just one, or just literally that area around the park? Just to double check.
So this is the flooding and stormwater hazard planning assistance that we're working with MNCPPC and CPJ, and it's with North Brentwood and Brentwood. So it's the entire towns where they're doing a huge assessment of like storm drains, hydraulics of the levee, all kinds of things. And also just with the higher water table, flooding in people's homes. They're interested, and I'm working with the town administrator on providing information to a handful of households that they've identified could be flooded, when they want to test again their analysis against what their future modeling would be. And so they're interested in doing that with town leadership who have also experienced and seen the flooding that has happened in the whole town of Brentwood, anywhere. Not just the Bartlett Park, but anywhere within the town. And I wasn't here for Allison Street floods. So I don't have that experience to be able to share with them and look at their future modeling. Does that help?
Yeah, and the reason why I asked that way, I was like, maybe we targeted a bit to the areas where we think they may want to focus in on, or at least where the data is putting us in that, because I don't have anybody offhand, or people have sort of always said they've seen flooding. Maybe we just.
So is there anybody on the council or town leadership, like town administrator, police? I know the police chief hasn't experienced it. Maybe a code enforcement person who's been around long enough. That's who they're looking for, is one of us. And I can't do it because I haven't been here. And I'm we can definitely just say, hey, sorry, none of us have the historical knowledge or experience of flooding in the town, so we can't speak to your modeling and our experience. That's a fine answer. I just thought I'd put it out here for folks to see if anybody.
That's what I was trying to. I'm struggling a little bit on that personally. That's why I think a lot of us, Jerry may be the best, or Mayor, because the last one I was here for really was more impact on North Brentwood, and that was that storm from it was 2019, 2020, but it was a little different.
Yeah. Mayor, would you be a resource? I could put them in touch with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then I already asked about the charrette. Great. And that's it. That's all I've got. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Town clerk, Mr. Moran, and town administrator, Ms. Shelley Dorsey, Washington. Was the letter for the Maryland bottle bill, was that letter submitted and emailed? I submitted it for testimony on behalf of the town for the actual committee hearing, but was that letter sent to the legislators indicated? I didn't see if an email went out, Mr. Moran.
It was emailed. I can forward that to you again. Mhm.
That would be great if you could forward to me what went out. That would be very helpful. Okay, now I'm done. Oh, no, I'm not. Sorry. Ms. Dorsey Washington, we are in the process still of working on finalizing the signage for the Wyndham Road Historic Barrier Park for the stormwater grant in order to get those funds completed, get our grant completed. That is also an email that I forwarded to you, and I'll forward it again to put it on the top of your inbox. It looks like the sign fabrication is ready to go. And I think it looks good. Just probably want to make sure that Public Works is comfortable with the fabrication and the post that they indicate in the information to make sure that they're ready to put that in. Okay, and I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Rob. Hi, Vice Mayor Taylor.
Good evening, everybody. So the month of February has been a little bit slow, thankfully, because there's been so much going on outside of events. The big push for this month has been prepping for our Black History Month event, which is going to be taking place this Saturday at 4300 39th Place, the Wolfarth Building. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for putting that out. The theme is Finding Our Roots, which generally we're on target with the official theme for Black History Month, but I just felt like with us witnessing the intentional erasure of history and people and concepts and ideas and things of that nature, it was really important for us to do this again. And so one of our residents, Deb Capone, works for the Prince George's County Memorial Library System. She's going to provide residents with resources that they can utilize if they're interested in starting or moving ahead their genealogy journey. We're also going to have a short presentation by former Councilmember Charles Wiley of North Brentwood, who is going to be speaking about the importance of recording your family's oral history and oral traditions. So that's going to be taking place this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. At Brentwood Town Hall. There's no registration. It's a completely free event. There will be food served, catered by a local Black caterer. And I think that's about it for me. Oh, I'm sorry. We're also starting to reach out to vendors for Brentwood Day. And I am meeting with Sandy at Mixed Food Hall tomorrow to interview her for this month's newsletter. And that's really all for me for this month.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Well, thank you again to all the staff and council for the successful grand opening we had last week. I think we had a great turnout, and we had a lot of people asking us about future tours to the building, especially other mayors that were not able to attend, and some elected officials that were they had a conflicting schedule. So as part of my report, it's been meetings with CASA, with the legislative recommendations, with everything that is going on for the non-citizen voting, to know your rights with CASA. And tomorrow we are scheduled to participate in the municipal leadership meeting with the acting Prince George's County Executive, Tara Jackson, to basically discuss changing on the federal landscaping. So there's a lot of meetings that have been happening with the different organizations to talk about different topics, especially focusing on the immigrant communities and the impact of everything, that is happening at the federal level. So that has been my past 2 weeks. And well, tomorrow I'll be attending and also scheduled to be in Annapolis sometime next week. So that's what I have. So please forgive me. I'm getting sick. Hoping that I'll be able to attend all those other meetings that are not on Zoom. They have to be in person. And I hope I will try my best not to be ill for Saturday and celebrate Black History Month. With that being said, I guess that's what I have, and getting ready for the mayor's meeting in March. I think that's all I have in my calendar. Yes, that's it. That's any questions related. Many questions has been related to, as I mentioned before, non-citizen voting. There's a lot of municipalities around us that are also having election, and they are looking at our model, how we did it last time when we passed it during the same Trump era, that we were able to have no citizen to participate in the municipal election. So it's been a lot of discussions around that. Yeah, that's all I have. Larry, can you put up the agenda?
If I may, Mayor, ask a
Mhm.
question.
Sure.
Do you have a status update on the Volta Studios? Volta Art Studios?
Mr. French request a meeting. The issue we have, and I'm going to say this, is really nothing that the town can do because he is dealing with DPI. So they are the ones that have to be act. So we don't have any, I'm going to follow up with DPI if that's the question, because once the case went from our code enforcement to Prince George's County, is very limited things that we can do at this point. Basically, the county took over the issue.
So are there any opportunities to reach out to county and just ask them if there's any assistance to move this along?
Well, I can't say much during this open meeting, but my understanding is whatever agreement, and might be the word, that was made with the previous administration, and now that Ms. Alsobrook is not longer there, so I don't really know exactly where we stand on that project. So, but I'll be willing to ask and see what we can get from them. Did that answer your question?
I think so.
All right, well, we can follow up offline if you wish.
That sounds great. Thank you.
No problem. All right, so I'm going to move down the agenda, Mr. Moran. And it is the consent agenda. We had a meeting on that was the 7th. We had a meeting and during the work session, these are the items that we consent: the resolution 2025-1, Utah Avenue special no parking zone, purchase of the Taurus police and interceptor, memorandum of understanding of the Maryland Department of Technology Cyber Security Program, and Capwen Software System Agreement, Municipal Collection of America agreement with the police department and 2025 Maryland Municipal League Summer Conference that we already instruct Mr. Moran to just block those days for the new administration once they come on board after election on May 5th. So I would like to make that consent.
I move to approve the items included in the consent agenda.
Any questions regarding to those items? I hear none, so I will have Mr. Moran to call the roll just to make sure we get everybody's voice. Mr. Moran,
Councilmember Jerry Burgess,
he's offline.
Councilmember Marcus Monroe.
Aye.
Councilmember Lauren Rout,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Kiana Taylor,
Aye.
and Mayor Jose Domingo Lopez.
Aye, so move. Thank you, Brad. So moving down the agenda to old business, and this is the Comcast franchise agreement. And I know Ms. Darcy Washington was speaking earlier about this.
So yes, so we had a hearing, and our second reading. And so I guess we're actually ready to approve the ordinance, along with the franchise agreement. I can read the first section of the ordinance for those that may not have heard it earlier. It was an ordinance of the Town Council of Brentwood granting a renewal of the cable franchise to Comcast of Maryland LLC and authorizing a franchise agreement.
Okay, so I guess I need a motion to approve.
Sorry, a motion to approve.
The Comcast agreement.
I move that we approve the Comcast franchise agreement.
Second.
I hear none. Please call the roll, Mr. Moran.
Councilmember Jerry Burgess,
Yes.
Councilmember Marcus Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Lauren Rout,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kiana Taylor,
Yes.
and Mayor Jose Domingo Lopez.
Yes. Thank you. And the next item in the agenda is the town waste contract. I see Larry correct. The Comcast franchise agreement is one item and the cable franchise ordinance.
Correct, Mayor. So we approve the franchise agreement and we're also ready to approve the ordinance. Again, we had the second reading tonight. It would be fitting to put this up for approval.
It's the same item, I'm sorry. Vice Mayor Taylor needs to be excused, so.
She feels better. I move that we take a vote and that we vote on the cable franchise ordinance 2024-02.
Okay, that's the
I'll
motion,
second
that's your
that.
motion? Okay, perfect. Any other question about this one? None, so please call the roll, Mr. Moran.
Councilmember Jerry Burgess,
Yes.
Councilmember Marcus Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Lauren Rout,
Yes.
Mayor Citromino Lopez.
Yes. Thank you. The town waste contract. Shelley, any updates on this
So
information?
yes, so I sent out a contract for mayor and council review. Jason has already reviewed it and approved it. And so the contract is actually good to go. The only piece of information that needed to be added is residents that have special exceptions that aren't able to put their trash to the curb. I just want to make sure that those addresses are included, but other than that, it's been reviewed for legal sufficiency and we're good to go.
So are we looking for a motion to approve this contract at this meeting?
It would be nice, yes.
All
But I
right.
don't know if everyone's had an opportunity to review it, if they need to review it. But again, Jason has reviewed it and it's good to go.
Anyone would like to make a motion and discuss if it's needed?
So I'm happy to make a motion so that way we can just, discuss this in case. And then for clarification's sake, I guess Mayor O'Shelley, do you want me to put the name of the contractor and the terms in there in the motion?
Yes, I think you can at this point. I think,
Okay.
yeah.
So make a motion to approve the trash yard waste bulk trash and recycling collection service agreement with Jam Hauling and Transportation Services effective March 2025 and date as noted on the contract. Sorry, I messed it up a little bit at the end of that motion.
Did you get it, Mr. Moran? I just want to make sure that it is noted in the minutes. Okay. All right, so who would like to second?
I will. Second, Councilmember Burgess.
Thank you. Open for questions, comments.
Mayor, I'm sorry, Mayor, can I jump in with a question?
Yes, please, go ahead.
And it's more of an observation. I mean, I appreciate the one thing, I pointed this out before that we've gotten a lot of calls from residents when something doesn't get picked up. So as a person I look for, was there any process for that to get addressed, which I know they have a customer service, and you said the guy, he seems to want to, provide good customer service. So I felt like that was answered for me. I just want to double check on our end how our side of the process works, because some of the confusion from the residents, if they don't have an email, I'm going to use Bubba because he's been our most vocal resident. For folks in his situation, is he supposed to contact them directly or reach out to us as a town? Because sometimes it's after hours, like say 7 p.m. How do we see us helping to solve that problem for residents that may be after hours and they just want, hey, I didn't get my my trash recycling picked up? Who are we saying they should reach out to?
So, well, for tracking purposes, if there are issues, I think the town wants to be able to know what those issues are. And the only way we're going to know that is if our residents are reporting those things directly to us. And so I think I would like to encourage, complaints or any concerns, they come through us. However, if it's after hours or what have you, we can still provide the contractor's information. He's fine with that. Email address as well as a phone number. So that they can be contacted if there, if in fact there are concerns. I think in our advertisement, when we roll this out, I would like to encourage residents to come through us. Because I just want to be able to keep my thumb on the pulse in terms of the service that's being provided.
And then the follow-up to that, then if they come to us after hours, and they don't have an email address and they call our line, does that voicemail trigger the info@Brentwood? Or wait, so that way people know after hours, hey, a voicemail came in about the trash. Is there a current process for that?
I don't know that there is. When they call in, Larry, I don't know if you can speak to that. Does that roll to a line where you will get that message in the morning?
Yeah, so Mitel sends a voice recording of the voicemail through email. I've
Okay.
done it in the past before where I do call the resident after hours, but it does give us the name and it does give us the number to call back to reach that resident after hours.
Okay.
That answers my question. Thank you all.
Mhm.
All right. Any other question?
I have two, if I may. Just
Go ahead.
one of them's thank you. One's just a quick follow-up from Councilmember Monroe's. If we really want to track and keep this information, then maybe we shouldn't put any contact information other than the town, and then we just take that responsibility?
Okay. Which
That's a question.
I'm fine. Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I just think that we hate to miss 30, 20, 30, 40, 50% of the complaints, especially if most people are likely to complain after they get home from work and something hasn't happened, which will be after hours, and we might miss a lot of information.
Right. No, I agree. And I didn't necessarily want to take, that from the resident if they felt the need to reach out to them. However, my preference would be that the residents just reach out to the town if they have issues. And, I see us as the administrators of the contract. And if there's an issue with the service or whatever the case may be, then it's our issue to address and get resolved. Not necessarily the resident. Did I answer your question?
I did.
To answer your question, I agree. It'll it'll come straight to if the resident has issues, they can just reach out to the town.
Question on this topic. So with any major change, there needs to be communication and education and reminders and all kinds of very detailed explanations. With this just right around the corner, probably not relying on the lamplighter, but will there be letters sent to all residents' households to let them know what's happening to their bins, what's happening, who the company is, some information about the company, and then, maybe other types of reminders because people are going to forget and they're going to be confused, and this is a big change for the town. So,
yeah, so we're going to be pushing information out hard and quickly, so that, one, the residents are getting information that they need, and two, if they have questions, they can, reach out to us and we can answer them and, just put them at ease. We're changing service, but we don't expect, there to be any downtime, meaning any missed, pickups between, during this transition.
great, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Moran, can you call the roll?
Councilmember Jerry Burgess,
Yes.
Councilmember Marcus Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Lauren Rowe,
Yes.
and Mayor Rocio Termino Lopez.
Yes. So move. Thank you. Okay, so now we are moving to the 38 Place RFP request for proposal.
So yes, so I mentioned this earlier. So we're not ready to move forward on this. However, Jason was able to reach out to KCI's attorney. They had, their conversation in regards to whatever issues there was with the contract, and they were able to work that out. And so the final version was to be sent to me, and I haven't received it as of yet. But as soon as I receive it, we're ready to move forward with it. I believe the mayor and the council already approved the contract. And it was just contingent off of, I guess, some things that Jason was doing, but those things have been completed. And so I'm just waiting for that final version to come to me, which I thought I would get today, but I didn't get it.
Yeah. So do we want to table this, or we just because it has been already approved previously? It was just waiting for change, but I don't know how to proceed at this point, because we unless we take Shelley's word that the attorney has already completed his revisions, and then we move forward.
Yeah, he said it was minor revisions, but and that KCI was going to send me that final version. But I'll be honest with you, I'm used to getting the final version from our attorney, and so he's going to have to still provide me confirmation that that final version is what he agreed to, and then we can move forward.
Well, my suggestion would be to have a consensus. So once the attorney returns, to give us the thumbs up to move forward. Something along those lines. So we don't have to be holding this until the next council meeting for approval.
Yes,
Technically, it's approved. It's just the language that needs to be revised.
Yes, and I know KCI because I did have a conversation with ATM, and I know they're ready to move forward. But again, I need to have the final contract in hand and know that that's the version that Jason approved or he was okay with.
Council, questions, suggestions?
Hey, Mayor. So Councilman Monroe here. I err on the side I usually want to see, or if people have gotten their eyes on the final version, even though if it verbally we're all on the same page, I do feel like we should see it. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah. I mean, we can just express it on this open meeting, and then once we get it from the attorney, we can just follow up and give Shelley the go ahead.
Yes, so when I received the final version, knowing that it's what Jason in fact approved, I will share that document with mayor and council so that you have an opportunity to review it and provide feedback. And if at that time, you want to give your consensus, then that's great too. And we can move forward with getting things scheduled with KCI. I know we're anxious to get this project started, but I also want to make sure that, we have a legitimate, contract in place.
Sure.
Does that sound fair to everyone?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Anyone else? Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I bring this the ordinance 2017-05 that needs to be amended, just to be added to the as a referendum. So do we have to read the whole thing, Shelley?
I don't know that we
Yeah.
need
Can you
to,
please, yes, we should have, because this
Uh,
is supposed to be the first reading. Well, we introduced this one on today, so yes, it's why it says second reading in there? Because we discussed it on the previous meeting.
yeah, we haven't had a first reading that much. I
Yeah.
know.
So it's supposed to say first reading, Larry, in this one for today's.
At the top,
Yeah.
it says
Yeah.
introduced in Reg 218.
Yeah, that's why I said it's second
Oh.
reading.
It's not
Oh.
filled in, Mayor.
Oh, yeah, I got it. And I am confused. Okay, go ahead. I'm just looking through. All right, Town of Brentwood, ordinance of the Town Council of Brentwood to increase the salary of the mayor and council effective July 1st, 2025, whereas Section 302 of the Charter of the Town of Brentwood provides that each council member shall receive an annual salary which shall be as specified from time to time by an ordinance passed by the council in regular course of its business. And whereas the charter further outlines that there's two that, see, I'm reading as it is there. The salary specified at the time any council take office should not be changed during the period for which that council was elected. And whereas the charter requires that such salary ordinance be approved by the majority of the qualified voters of the municipal voting thereon at the regular or special municipal election pursuant of the Town of Brentwood Charter. Whereas the mayor and council realize the increased amount of the time and attention required to provide the required oversight and management of the town affairs. And whereas the mayor and council members presently seated decide to increase the salary of succeeding mayor and council to $500 per month. Well, this is the one that we need to change. I think we said 700 for a month for the mayor and 500 for the council.
That's correct,
So
Mayor.
that needs to be changed, that in there.
Yeah.
Per month for the mayor and 500 per month for the council members. Whereas in accordance with the requirement that this increase be approved by a majority of the voters, the mayor and council submitted the following question for inclusion on the election ballot on May 5th, 2025. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the town of Brentwood this day of 2025 as follows. Are you for or against the increase of salary of council members from, see, you have to change that from 400 to 500 per month and increase the mayor's salary from 500 to 700 for months. The prescribed question is approved and should be included in the voting ballot on May 5th, 2025. And upon verification by the chief election judge that the majority of the voters have approved this increase, the ordinance will be in effect and the approval increase should become effective on July 1st, 2025. If verification of the chief election judge determines that the majority of the voters have not approved the increase, this ordinance should be withdrawn. Pass and adopted on this day. So the amounts are the ones that are needs to be changed, and also some of the typos there on the second where else.
Okay.
So guess we have to follow the ordinance. We will have to have a hearing. And I suggest that we have a hearing on the next council meeting, which is the work session. Let's just move
At
forward.
6:30, Mayor, before the meeting, just to clarify.
6:30, what I'm gonna do, because the other ordinance that is coming after, we can actually have the two hearings on that day.
Okay.
For the sake of the time. All right, so moving to the next 2025 Town of Brentwood Municipal Election, Monday, May 5th, 2025. Mr. Moran.
All right, so I reached out to the voting machine company. I do have the final quote and I do have the contract. I do have to send it over to the attorney.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's kind of the dilemma right now is we have no election judges. I know, Mayor, you gave me a few names. I did reach out to someone else, but we do have to get this working before February 27th. So time is of short.
We're looking for election judges. We at least required to have 3 members. And do they have to be a resident of the town of Brentwood?
That's the key. They have to be a resident of the town.
Council, can you have suggestions of residents that would be? Did you spoke to Mr. Porter? He asked me during the event that he wanted to know more about the election judges.
I haven't had a chance. He actually got sick. He didn't make it to the Valentine's Day dance last Friday. That's the day I was gonna catch up with him, but I didn't see him yet.
Can you give him a call and follow up with him and see? Because he actually asked me on that day of the event.
Okay.
I don't know who else, but I will put probably I will give you some more names. Ask
Okay,
around.
and then they do have to get sworn in, so do we want to go ahead and set some time up now so that we're all there for that swearing in, or
It has to be before the 27th, correct?
before the 28th? That's why I said the 27th.
Okay, all right. So I mean, it has to be just me or the whole council. I think it's just the mayor, correct? Just to do
Swearing
the
in.
oath.
Mhm.
I mean, let's see here. Let me see, because I have a problem that I'll be out of town on a work train mission next week, and I'm not coming back until March 2nd. So in the case, I know Vice Mayor left the meeting now, but I will double check with her and she will be available to do that before the 27th or the 28th.
Okay.
Unless I do it on Zoom, but I mean, that's how we did it last time during COVID, so.
Well, we can try to set that up.
Is that by the 27th, 28th of February?
Yes, February.
Yeah.
Okay. I did
Yeah.
send I did reach out to 3 specific individuals that I thought might be interested, and they one responded and said they couldn't, and the other didn't get back to me, and the other said they wouldn't be able to do it either. So, but I'll reach out to some more folks.
It's urgent, otherwise we're not gonna have election.
So if I'm not running again, can I be an election judge, or do I have to be completely out of office? And I suppose
I
that's
would
a
have to
question for
double check on
Jason,
that.
maybe. Sorry, Mr. Moran.
I would have to double check on that.
You cannot hold double office, just so you will have to step down to do the other thing,
Okay, well.
because that will be considered double.
Oh, okay, it's an office of election judge.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. All right, I'll reach out to other folks again.
Yeah. All right. Has to be pending. We need to work on this. We only have a few more days before the deadline. All right, Mr. Moran, you got the ordinance 2017, so is the hearing is scheduled for next meeting at 6:30.
All right, Tuesday, March 4th, 6:30.
Yes. All right, I'm going to move to the new business. And I will Prince George's County Audubon Memorandum of Understanding for Pocket Park. And I guess this is Councilmember Rob.
How did you know? I thought it'd be a surprise. You'd be like, who could this be? So Attorney Deloach did review this memorandum, and I kept the edits in there for you guys to be able to see. This is a memorandum. Do I read the memorandum? It's pretty short. I can just read it if, okay. Memorandum of Agreement between Prince George's Audubon Society Incorporated and Town of Brentwood, Maryland. Use of original design, artwork, digital files for plant labels and signs. Could you scroll a little bit further down? Thank you. For plant labels and signs in order to ensure the integrity of the Prince George's Audubon Society wildlife habitat programs, hereinafter AWHP, work to transform public and private land into beautiful, sustainable wildlife habitat. AWHP agrees to share access to the design, artwork, and digital files in the above, excuse me, in the above unique plant labels and signs with the town of Brentwood, hereinafter sometimes referred to as partner, or on the following terms outlined herein. The town of Brentwood will use the signs, plant labels, artwork, and designs only in the Pocket Park to create a public, community-based native species pollinator garden that follows the AWHP PRISM plan, remove, install signs, maintenance method. Specifically, partner, town of Brentwood, has shared with AWHP their plans to, number one, plan for their garden, including at least a basic garden design and native plant selection and placement that takes into account community involvement, water sources, and runoff, public enjoyment and use. Number two, remove all invasive and undesirable non-native plants in the garden location. Number three, install specified native plants and, if possible and feasible, other features conducive to harvest stormwater and enhance public enjoyment. Example, swales and berms, trash cans, benches, water sources, etc. And use. Number four, install signs, including but not limited to the Joe's signs that are subject of this MOU, taking into account visibility and accessibility for a range of visitors. And five, maintain the garden to ensure it is kept weeded, watered, picked up, and attractive for years to come. Further, town of Brentwood shall not access to the above identified artwork. Shall not share access to the above identified artwork, designs, files, signs, or plant labels in any manner or location not covered in this agreement. Town of Brentwood will, to the extent possible, share before, after, and more pictures of their garden with, this is Prince George's Audubon Society, to post on social media and elsewhere. Seen and agreed to. And so that would be Barry Stahl, who lives in Mount Rainier, co-director, AWHP representative, and the date. And then I would presume that it would be the mayor's name that would go there to sign the MOU for the town of Brentwood. Any concerns or questions?
Nope, I need a motion.
Do I make a motion on my own thing?
You can.
I move that you all approve this memorandum of understanding with Prince George's County Audubon Society for the Pocket Park signage and use.
30 seconds.
All right, questions? No? Hi, Mr. Moran, call the roll.
Councilmember Gary Burgess,
An excited yes.
Councilmember Marcus Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Lauren Rowe,
Yes.
and Mayor Luisito Muñoz Lopez.
Of course, yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. All right, now moving along. This is my presentation of the fiscal year 2026 budget, the mayor's budget. So I will have just a recap, read to the council, and from here, it will be all yours. Shelley?
Yes, so, and we're doing the short version of the mayor's proposed budget for FY 2026. Revenues, property taxes, $1,521,600. Other taxes, $582,009. Licenses and permits, $141,400. Intergovernmental, $8,380. Fines revenue, $800. Cable TV and Verizon fees, $36,500. Other miscellaneous income, $12,650. Community fundraising, $100. Brentwood Police Department revenue, $172,800. Restricted revenues, $887,331. Total revenues presented is $3,363,570. Expenditures, general gov, $641,983. Elected official costs, $56,275. Code management, $192,255. Brentwood Police Department, $750,295. Brentwood Volunteer Fire Department, $2,500. Maintenance, $399,242. Public Ways and Lighting, $105,500. Sanitation, $217,100. Bartlett Park, $3,850. Veterans Park, $1,800. Pocket Park, $1,250. Recreation, $121,500. Cable television, $23,621. Unforeseen contingency, $46,064. Mayor Council projects, $14,940. Restricted expense, $785,394. Total expenditures is equal to the total amount of revenue of $3,363,570. That completes the reading of the FY 26 mayor's proposed budget.
Thank you, Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I just need a consent to receive this proposed budget.
Question first. Was this included in the email of documents that was sent by the town clerk?
No, because I forgot to send it to him to audit. But because of the timing that we are, so I didn't want to do any special meeting for March. So you don't have to act now. It's just that this is just the proposed budget. So that can be changed. That's what the council received, the proposed budget.
Thank you.
So yeah, so just for clarification, the mayor is just presenting the budget to the mayor and the council, or to the council to receive it. The council receives the budget, and then we have our budget workshops where the council is able to make changes before it's approved.
Any other question? Nobody? I just need a consent to receive this proposed budget.
Mayor, do you want, well, I guess we'll do the dates next. I don't want to confuse things in my head here, but do you want to talk through the budget dates as well right after that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's coming in the next work session. It's going to be part of the discussion.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll go to my part to receive this. So,
You consent to receive the, who would like to second?
Me, second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 I'm gonna say nay, because I haven't seen it before, so I don't know what's in it.
But that's the way it's supposed to be. I present it to you guys, and then you work. This is not a definite. This is not. This is a proposed. That's my proposed. And those are my numbers. Those numbers can be changed. Now I'm giving it to the council so the council can do whatever they want with their proposed budget. Let's put it that way.
Do we have to vote on consent to receive it then?
No,
It's
I
just
mean,
a-
it's just
Oh,
like you're
so then why
receiving
are
it.
we-
I'm presenting the budget. So you guys have it. So it's not longer my budget. Now it's the council budget. That's how it is. I mean, the mayor presents the numbers. I mean, I get the numbers from some of are my ideas, some of the things that you have talked about, but that's not a definite budget. We need to work the budget for the next 6 weeks.
So I'm sorry, is this just, can somebody help me out here? Is this just procedural that we have to consent to receive it? Or why are we voting aye or nay or,
Because you're receiving my budget. That's my proposed budget.
Yeah, yeah, I think I think all we're doing here is acknowledging that the mayor has provided a proposed budget. That's all we're doing.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I acknowledge that the mayor has sent a proposed budget then.
Thank you. I do. Yeah, strong. Now on, it's like we need to work on this. Flip my numbers away. All right.
And just to make, because I get the concern, I can clean this up a little bit. Just a motion. I mean, retract my previous.
It's not a
consent
motion. It's just a
motion.
consent.
Right, and I'm just saying, I'm just going to formally say I'm retracting that because it came across as a motion. Jerry seconded it, so I'm just going to as far as process goes and recording, I'm just retracting the motion that appeared to be in front of the council.
The procedurally, perhaps the TA can help here, but since we've already approved your motion, we will have to do something else. You can't just retract your motion since it's been voted on now.
Right, you can revise it.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry about that. I'm messing up all my problem. Either way, I don't want to confuse things down the road. I think as long as our clerk and through this dialogue is clear that we're not approving the budget as presented.
Yeah.
And I think to CM Ralph's point, I just wanted to make sure it was clear to those watching, like we're not approving the budget as presented. Just want to be clear on that.
Correct.
No, and just for further clarification, the budget, after we go through our workshops, the budget gets approved as an ordinance. It does not get approved in the format in which it's been presented tonight. This is just the mayor's proposed budget, and she could put whatever she wants in there. And she gives it to the council, and now it's the council's budget. And we have our workshops where we actually work through the budget. And once we're able to, come up with a final document that mayor and council agree on, or should I say council agree on, it becomes an ordinance, which gets presented. We have to do first reading, second reading,
Hearing.
and we have and have a hearing.
Thank you for that.
Now that's why I say it's a consent to receive.
Right.
It's not a motion. It's a consent to receive the proposed budget.
Right. So you can revise your motion to read as opposed to revise it to be a consent to receive as opposed to a motion to receive, because I think that's what your original motion was.
Right. So motion to revise the previous motion and clarify that is a consent to receive the mayor's proposed FY budget.
Yes, FY 26.
FY 26, thank you.
Second. Anyone?
That was a motion to undo the last motion? Is that what your
To
motion is?
revise.
Revising it.
Revise. You have a motion to revise the last motion. I second.
Questions? Any questions? Now can we all say aye if we agree?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So as you asked Councilmember Rowe, so I will be adding this item into the next work session, and it's gonna be and then we can set dates, extra dates for continue the ordinance process. Anyone else? Nope. All right. So I hope everything is clear now. All right, so I'm going to move to the next one is the first reading and introduction of ordinance 2025-02, amending Charter 305, vehicles and traffic, adding section 305 to 60, penalties and fees. And this, I will have our police chief to speak on this, because I know you've been working on it.
Madam Mayor, can I pass to, I think it's Ms. Dorsey's new item about the quote? Because after I read these ordinances, everyone's head's going to be spinning, and I'm sure she needs approval. Whereas I'm just reading. So I will read them, but if we can do Ms. Dorsey's quote request first for Jiffy Plumbing.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Shelley, I know you were looking, so I need a motion to get approve 1,004. Is that what the-
$450 to, yes, so this is to clear out the lines at the community center restrooms, indoor restrooms, to clear out the lines.
All right, was this included in our email of documents for today's meeting?
I will say that I gave it to the town clerk late. And so I cannot confirm if he sent this out. Larry, were you able to send this quote out to the council?
I did not, but I'll send it over now.
Yeah. Just keep in mind, this is an emergency repair.
Why would it
So
be an
this-
emergency repair if it's been broken for months and months and months? And did we get 3 estimates?
Is it not required for the amount, I believe?
Correct. It's not required for the amount. And so I did not get 3 quotes. I went with Jiffy, couple of reasons. One, they do actually do quite a bit of work there at the town. They're familiar with the issues that we're actually having with that restroom and why that stall doesn't work properly. As opposed to bringing in a new plumber who I would have to go through, assess it to determine what the issue is and then provide a quote. So I was comfortable getting the 1 quote from Jiffy.
Thank you for that. I'm just reading the proposal, proposed solution. Is the number 5 proposed to be done every 4 months to keep the lines clear included in the cost?
So this would be pretty much a quarterly maintenance fee for these restrooms. The permanent solution or fix, unfortunately, we're not in position to address it right now. There's an issue in regards to how the pipes are actually running through this building. And it would require them to go under the building, which is why we don't have a permanent solution. And so the only fix that we can come up with currently is to provide quarterly maintenance where they actually go in and they blow these lines out every quarter in hopes of clearing out any blockages to keep the lines clear. Until we get to a point where we may actually have to have a serious, overhaul of the plumbing or the piping in that building to address this issue, which is far more costly. And the flip side is we don't do it and we just continue to operate the one stall, which I really didn't want to do that. If we can get all the stalls working in the community center, that would, I think it works out great, especially if we're looking to, one, turn it into a community center, quite possibly, rent it out. We need to have the, working bathroom facilities. And I believe because of the cost to have a permanent fix is so great. That's why it's just the previous town administrator just kind of left it sitting and they just closed the stall off. I'm trying to at least get it operable.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Motion?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask something. I trying to make sure I understood whether or not we needed to do a motion. It was under the threshold. I was trying to go back to that price. It went away from me. The total price was
1,004.
correct me if I'm wrong. And was it under the threshold where we do need to do a motion if it's an emergency for like an essential service? And I just was forgetting this part, but I didn't think we needed to do an emotion if it's considered an emergency.
So I personally didn't consider this an emergency because that stall has not worked for quite some time.
Okay.
We've only, we've been managing with just the one stall. And if we were to address it, it's going to cause a clog in the men's bathroom. So basically, it just kind of goes back and forth. This will allow them to go and blow the lines out to clear it out. However, it won't stop the pipes from, backing up again, which is why the recommendation is that we make this a quarterly maintenance, just to be able to maintain that system.
Yeah.
So I did not view this as an emergency repair.
So we need the money or not? We need to approve the money or not? What?
So I recently just got two quotes to do something very similar at my in-laws' house in Bladensburg, and the price that Shelley's quoting is consistent with what I was given. My question, I can't read that that quote that Larry had up a little while ago, but does it actually say that? So, all right, let me stop. Sorry, I'm babbling a little bit. I do not want to commit to anything quarterly. More than happy to spend $1,000 to do it once to see if it works, but in no way do I want to commit to doing it quarterly.
Right, and we're not doing that. This is not a commitment to do this quarterly. That was me just sharing additional information from my conversations with the plumber that, this may be a quarterly maintenance thing if we want to try to be proactive so that the system doesn't get clogged up. But this is a one-time thing. And so, oh, go ahead.
And I suppose your plumber, I mean, he doesn't know that that's going to solve the problem, correct? This is just his best guess.
Yes, this is his best guess. This is the cheapest way to address the issue that we're having. He feels he's confident that it's going to work. He's just not confident that it's going to, it's going to hold up long term. If that makes sense.
And I think there might be some confusion. If Larry, you can pull the quote up again. And I know you might not be able to see it on your phones, but it says, sorry, Mr. Moran. It says number 5. So it's like the solutions proposed to jet, all the water drain lines. Cost is set at $300 per hour with 3 hours minimum total, with $900. Jiffy also proposes to camera the lines after jetting to video inspect to reassure lines are clear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cost is reduced from $750 down to $550 if done at the time of jetting. And then number 5, Jiffy also proposes to set a jetting to be done every 4 months to keep lines clear. And so that was also my original question, which is within the $1,450, because I'm not going to do the math in my head. I'm sorry. Because but within the $1,450 is not included the proposal that it be done every 4 months, right? We're not paying for that in this proposal because that would be astronomical in this. So this is just, hey, also recommending that you do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So this is basically just paying for the jetting and then the cameraing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is just a one-time only occurrence.
So it would be $1,540 likely. Well, costs could go up, who knows, but $1,540 in every 4 months. $1,450, sorry. Yeah.
Correct. And I would be coming back to the council.
Yeah.
If there was additional costs, related to this issue.
Personally, I feel okay paying it once, and I might not be on the council in 4 months anyway, but I do think it gives us pause, like, the money that we're kind of throwing at this building just to get it to a place. And I know probably we're all traumatized from doing a capital campaign. But I would really recommend that we not just keep throwing money at this old building, but really look at how can we do another capital campaign and make this building really like a strong and beautiful building for this community, yeah.
Well, I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. That needs to be, well, on my radar, to find the monies to do a major renovation of that facility. Unfortunately, we're not there quite yet. However, we do plan to use this building. And that being said, to me, it makes sense that we would want to try to get the stalls in working order.
A motion to approve the requested amount for the plumbing repairs at the former town hall exterior bathroom in a total of $1,450.
Should we do a not to exceed like 1,500 or 1,600, something like that?
You could do not to exceed 1,500. That's $50 more. It's not going to be more than that.
All right, so revise that to say a motion to approve the plumbing repairs at the exterior bathroom at the former town hall and for an amount not to exceed $1,600.
Second.
Wait, just a little edit, interior bathroom.
Oh, that's exterior. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the
so.
outside. Interior. Let's clarify, correct that, clerk. Mr. Moran.
Okay, we still keep Councilman Burgess second with that correction. So I will say, Mr. Moran, call the roll.
Councilmember Jerry Burgess,
Yes.
Councilmember Marcus Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Lauren Rowe,
Yes.
and Mayor Citrino Lopez. Sorry.
No problem. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
All right. Chief, you are next.
All right, good evening. I will try to make this quick. There are three ordinances before you. The first reading and introduction is ordinance 2025-2, which is amending chapter 305 vehicles and traffic and adding section 305, a new section 30560. So in reviewing the current processes and practices for collections of outstanding fines, fees, and penalties for anything under the vehicle and traffic's article within the code, we found that there is no penalties and fees section in most of these. Something that we talked about with the MCOA contract and how we have outstanding violations that we have no way to collect on right now. So I'm just going to read through these rather quickly. All three of them, I'm going to do them one by one, but they all have added the same section of language, fees and penalties, under the different articles within vehicles and traffic. So this one, ordinance 2025-2, amending chapter 305 vehicles and traffic for the collection of outstanding penalties and fees for the purpose of amending chapter 305 vehicles and traffic by adding a new section 30560, providing that fees and fines owed to the town that remain unpaid and outstanding after 30 days may, in the town's sole discretion and to the extent permitted by law, be referred to a collection agency or an attorney for collection and reporting to a major credit bureau per state and federal law, provided that an additional fee for collection shall be assessed for debitors whose accounts are referred to a collection agency or an attorney for collection, providing that such additional fee for collection shall not exceed 35% or total amount owed to the town, and providing that the town may, in its sole discretion, alternatively or further elect to file a civil suit against the debtor to recover the delinquent sums due and owing by amending chapter 305 vehicles and traffic, adding new section 30560 penalties and fees for the code of the town of Brentwood, Maryland, and the new section 30560 penalties and fees reads as follows: where any fees or fines are assessed or imposed in accordance with this chapter, and where such fees or fines are unpaid and outstanding for 30 or more days, the town, in its sole and absolute discretion, and to the extent permitted by law, may refer such debt to a collection agency or an attorney for collection. In addition, such debt may be reported to a major credit bureau in accordance with the state and federal law. For all accounts referred to a collection agency or an attorney for collection, such account shall be subject to a collection fee not to exceed 35% or the total sum in debt to the town, whichever is greater. The town may alternatively or further elect to file a civil suit against the debtor to recover such outstanding and unpaid fees or fines. In addition to the civil penalty and collections costs, the following fees are applicable. 1, the town's administrative flagging fee of $35. 2, an NVA administrative flag fee of $30. And 3, a town return check fee of $35. The town may modify these fees by resolution of the mayor and council from time to time. You will notice at the end of all of these that the town may modify these fees by resolution of the mayor and council from time to time as we're trying to come up with the comprehensive fee schedule for the town that will be passed by resolution with the budget after it's reviewed by the treasurer and the mayor. So we made sure we don't have to go back and amend these sections of the code later on for that. So that concludes my first reading and introduction of that amendment. Are there any questions?
None. Thank you, Chief. Looking forward to this.
Thank you. Councilmember Rauch.
Aye.
As usual, was this sent to us in email by chance? I might have missed it.
Yes, I sent them Friday evening as
Friday.
support and documentation.
Okay, thank you.
I attached it to the original agenda email, just replied all.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Is there a reason why you even want to put in the amounts actually into the ordinance? Because I mean, sure, we say refer to the resolution, you know, we could change it, but is there, because once it's in the ordinance, you have to have a whole nother ordinance and hearing to update those numbers.
Jason advised as long as the language, that sentence is underneath, that it can be changed from time to time by resolution, then we're good. We no longer have to do an ordinance to amend the ordinance. The reason the fees are in there is because the last one that we're going to read, the stop sign program, goes live here shortly. And I don't want to put a fee schedule to you all that's not comprehensive, and we haven't finished going through all the different codes and chapters of the code to get all of that in there, and then sit down with Ms. Dorsey Washington to make sure it's right. And in order to make sure that we're ready to go before the stop sign cameras go live, I would have to present a single resolution to you, and it's just gonna get all convoluted, and there'll be another piece of legislation floating that we've got to try to comply with, you know, that goes with a piece of the code and meshes with some other ordinance somewhere. So this was the easiest route that Jason and I came up with, and he legally vetted all of these. So as long as that line is in there about changing it from time to time by resolution, we'll be good to go.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that response. And I might just suggest that just, you know, to make it very clear for residents and people passing through the town, whatever, that this be prominently, the master fee schedule be prominently added to your police department webpage. And also, you know, have that so that understanding that if people go and they look at the code, you know, online and they read it there, that they know they can go and, you know, find the rest of the information prominently placed. And you might even want it right on your webpage, you know, for these ordinances, the amounts might change. Please see the master fee schedule or something, just really clearly outlining where people can find this information.
So Mr. Moran codifies later this year. You usually can put notes underneath the codification. So we would be able to do that.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Looking forward to it as well. Just like Councilmember Monroe said, looking forward to it as well. Not to penalize people, but oh my gosh, come on.
Yeah, not to penalize, but we all are accountable for our actions and our debts. So ordinance 2025-3, amending chapter 305, the speed and red light camera programs, section 30549, penalties and fees, and 30553, penalties and fees. This is a two-part ordinance because it's amending the speed camera enforcement program and the red light camera enforcement program because they were put into code together. by a previous ordinance, amended, I should say, not too long ago. So ordinance 2025-3, collection of outstanding penalties, fees for speed camera and red light camera enforcement programs for the purpose of repealing, amending, and reenacting certain language and fees in Chapter 305, Vehicles and Traffic, speed camera enforcement program by repealing, amending, and reenacting 30549, penalties, fees, and red light camera enforcement program by repealing, amending, and reenacting, it's definitely getting late, 30553, penalties and fees of the town code, providing that fees and fines owed to the town that remain unpaid and outstanding after 30 days may, in the town's sole discretion and to the extent permitted by law, be referred to a collection agency or an attorney for collection and reporting to a major credit bureau per state and federal law, providing that an additional fee for collection shall be assessed for debtors whose accounts are referred to collection, shall not exceed 35% or total amount owed to the town, and providing that the town may, in its sole discretion, alternatively or further elect to file civil suit against the debtor to recover the delinquent sums in owing. So in 30549, penalties and fees, we're removing civil violation. It kind of stood out there by itself, so that language was not needed. And we're adding a number 2, collection fees and fines, where any fees or fines are assessed or imposed in accordance with this chapter, and where such fees or fines are unpaid and outstanding for 30 or more days, the town, in its sole and absolute discretion and to the extent permitted by law, may refer such debt to a collection agency or an attorney for collection. In addition, such debt may be reported to a major credit bureau in accordance with the state and federal law. For all accounts referred to a collection agency or an attorney for collections, such accounts shall be subject to a collection fee not to exceed 35% or the total sum in debt to the town, whichever is greater. The town may alternatively or further elect to file a civil suit against the debtor to recover such outstanding and unpaid fees or fines. In addition to the civil penalty and collection costs, the following fees are applicable. 2.1, the town administrative flag fee of $35. 2.2, the NVA administrative flag fee of $30. And 2.3, the town return check fee. We removed number 4, which read, if a speed camera citation has not been paid in 30 days, the fee shall double. And if it's not paid in 60 days, the fee shall double again for each speed and red light violation. That actually violates Maryland law. So we cannot do that. And we removed number 5, if a speed camera violation has not been paid after 90 days, it shall be forwarded to a collection. A collection fee of $40 shall be assessed for each violation. And a default or collections, we remove that because the fee is at 35% according to our agreement that we approved with MCOA, which ensures that the town gets its full amount of whatever penalty or citation the person owes us, and MCOA gets the fee for doing the collection enforcement. The town may modify these fees by resolution of the mayor and council from time to time. And then section 2 goes into 30553, penalties and fees. We changed A to number 1. And we changed, before it read, you'll see at the bottom of that paragraph, it says that they were guilty of a municipal infraction. It's not a municipal infraction, it's actually a civil infraction. Is subject to a civil penalty of $100. Case law in Prince George's County ruled, even though Maryland state law says you can charge $100 for red light, up to $100 for red light cameras, the courts have ruled in Maryland, the higher courts, that you cannot impose more than $75 on a person for a red light camera or right turn on red. That's the reasonable amount. We removed B. In addition to civil penalty, the following fees are authorized. So we removed that and we added section 2, which is the collection of fees and fines. And it reads the same as the other ones, where any fees or fines are assessed or imposed in accordance with this chapter, and where such fees or fines are unpaid and outstanding for 30 or more days, the town, in its sole and absolute discretion and to the extent permitted by law, may refer such debt to a collection agency or an attorney for collection. In addition, such debt may be reported to a major credit bureau in accordance with the state and federal law. For all accounts referred to a collection agency or an attorney for collection, such accounts shall be subject to a collection fee not to exceed 35% or the total sum indebted to the town, whichever is greater. The town may alternatively or further elect to file a civil suit against the debtor to recover such outstanding and unpaid fees or fines. In addition to the civil penalty and collections cost, the following fees are applicable. 2.1, the town administrative flag fee of $35. 2.2, the MVA administrative flag fee of $30. 2.3, the town return check fee of $35. The same language as above was removed about the citations doubling and tripling after 30 and 60 days, which is not in line with state law. And we removed number 4. If a red light camera violation citation has not been paid after 90 days, it shall be forwarded to a collection agency, and a collection fee of $40 shall be assessed to each violation in default of collections. We changed that to 35% in the above language, and the town may modify these fees by resolution of the mayor and council from time to time. All right, so that is ordinance 2025-3. Is there any questions on that one? All right, I will move on there to ordinance 2025-4, amending chapter 305, stop sign monitoring systems, adding sections 305-51, penalties and fees. For the purpose of adding certain language and fees in chapter 305, vehicles and traffic, stop sign monitoring systems by adding section 305-51, penalties and fees under the town code, providing that fees and fines owed to the town that remain unpaid and outstanding after 30 days may, in the town's sole discretion and to the extent permitted by law, be referred to a collections agency or an attorney for collection and reporting to a major credit bureau per state and federal law, providing that an additional fee for collection shall be assessed for debtors whose accounts are referred to collection shall not exceed 35% or total amount owed to the town, and providing that the town may, in its sole discretion, alternatively or further elect to file a civil suit against the debtor to recover the delinquent sums due and owing, adding chapter 305, vehicles and traffic, stop sign monitoring systems, sections 305-51, penalties and fees. And it reads number 1, in violation of a stop sign monitoring system shall be deemed a civil infraction pursuant to 21-707.1 of the Transportation Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and the penalty shall be $40. And that actually is a typographical error in there. The penalty shall be $40. We'll take civil penalty off the end. 2, penalties and fees. Where any fees or fines are assessed or imposed in accordance with this chapter, and where such fees or fines are unpaid and outstanding for 30 or more days, the town, in its sole and absolute discretion and to the extent permitted by law, may refer such debt to a collection agency or an attorney for collection. In addition, such debt may be reported to a major credit bureau in accordance with the state and federal law. For all accounts referred to a collection agency or an attorney for collection, such accounts shall be subject to a collection fee not to exceed 35% or the total sum indebted to the town, whichever is greater. The town may alternatively or further elect to file a civil suit against the debtor to recover such outstanding and unpaid fees or fines. In addition to the civil penalty, the collections cost, the following fees are applicable. 2.1, town administrative flag fee of $35. 2.2, MVA administrative flag fee of $30, and 2.3, the town return check fee of $35. The town may modify these fees by resolution of the mayor and council from time to time. And that concludes the reading and introduction of ordinance 2025-4. The council will notice that there is consistent language being added to the code for each one of these sections so that it's easy for our vendors, the collection company, and town staff, and the public to know consistently across the board what our practices are, what penalties and fees, because it varied by code. It varies by code currently. If there are any questions. All right, Mayor, that concludes the ordinances.
Thank you. Chief, those are the first reading, correct? We have to schedule hearings.
Yes, ma'am. If the
'Cause,
ordinances,
we can do is schedule those hearings for the next meeting at 6 p.m.
yes, ma'am. The way we wrote them out is each of them are scheduled for public hearing and second reading on March 4th. So
Yep.
can add them to that 6 p.m. meeting. That would be great.
Yes, you got that schedule, Mr. Moran, so we can put that into the agenda.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions for the chief? Oop. What else do we have in the agenda?
That's it. We moved the Jiffy Plumbing quote before the ordinances.
Oh. Okay, anything else for the good of the order of this meeting?
Quickly, if I may, I do see that the resident has departed from the meeting who brought up the concerns about rental situations and equity, and I would like to ask that we put that on the agenda for discussion for March 4th meeting. And I really appreciate the resident who spoke up and brought that information and shared it with us publicly. And it sounds like they're looking for some assistance. So I'd like to make sure that's on the March 4th meeting agenda, please.
Yes, thank you. All right, guys, thank you so much. So I will see you hopefully on Saturday. If this body ache doesn't get me down. But I think that's it. So if there's no other announcements or other comments, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting of mayor and council.
Motion to adjourn at 9:27 p.m.
All right.
Are we going into a closed session? That's on the agenda.
No, we just leave it there in case we have to go into closed session. So it has to be the announcements, but if there's anything that we have to go, it is there for that purpose.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And the attorney is not here anyhow. In case we have legal questions. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor to adjourn this meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good night.